Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the second day of our Fusion 360 class. In our previous class, we talked about Fusion 360, what Fusion 360 is all about. We discussed about the software interface, the overview of Fusion 360, what it comprises, the different section of Fusion 360. I explained some of this workspace and what these commands and what they are being used for. And we also did some examples. Then for today's class, we are going to also do more examples on 3D designs. Before I proceed with that, some persons messaged me privately and they were asking me questions on things they did not understand. So I'm going to start with this example. This is one of the assignments I gave you guys. Most people were having issues with them. Although I saw some persons who did theirs and they've submitted their own assignment, and they've created a post on LinkedIn. So I'm really happy that you guys are like getting the hang of it. Right. So I'm going to start with this example to explain how extrude operation, how you can use extrude operation to carry out your design. So because I noticed from the complaints that most persons don't know how to use that extrude command. So I'm going to repeat this example. I'm going to use this example to explain it better. Okay. So let's open up our Fusion 360 interface. Okay, so we are going to the first step is to create a sketch. So we are going to create a sketch by going to our create drop
Wait,
down menu.
Mr. Henry,
Yeah, proceed.
um, kindly check your um, Zoom and share your screen. We can't see your screen.
Okay, can you guys see my screen now?
We can't yet, but I just made.
So,
Okay, yes, we can.
okay, all right. Let me proceed. I said the first step is to create a sketch, and you do that by going to the create drop down menu and scroll down to your create sketch command, or you can select it right here on the toolbar. Yeah. So please, if you are joining, please try and mute your mic. Please mute your mic so that I don't interfere with our class. The first step is to create a sketch that you can select any of the plane. Remember I told you can select any plane. If you want to create a sketch, you can either create a sketch on a plane or on the surface of a body. So since we do not have any body present currently, we only have the option to create a sketch on a plane. So you have three planes active here close to the origin. So you can select any of them. Any of them is fine. So I'll select one of them. Let's click on it. Once you let's click on that, your sketch environment will be activated. Now we are in the sketch environment. So the next step is to create two circles. Okay, the first one is 50 millimeter diameter, while the second one is 60 millimeter diameter. So we are going to create those two circles, two concentric circles.
Mr. Henry, please unmute your mic.
Okay. I don't know why the my mic is muting itself. You guys can hear me now, right?
Yes, I had to. turn off all mics from my end, so yours
Okay.
automatically went off.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's proceed. Okay, so you activate the circle center diameter circle. You have different options for circles. You can create 2 point circles, I think, yeah. You have the center diameter circle, which is the common one. You have the 2.3 points, but we'll discuss about this in our advanced class. So for this class, we'll be working with center diameter circle. So you left click on it to activate. Then you left click on the point you want to create your circle from, and then drag outside. You click again. And now remember, we want 2 circles, so we are going to create 2 circles, 2 concentric circle. By concentric, it means that are they both have the same center or the same origin. Okay, so the next step is to dimension our circles. So you go to your create drop down menu, or on the toolbar here, you see your sketch dimension. You can activate it here by left clicking on this, or using your keyboard letter D as the shortcut to activate it. Or if you can't find yours on the toolbar here, you go to the create drop down menu and scroll down to the last command. That is the sketch dimension. And see it here. You activate it by left clicking also. So we are going to dimension both circles. So in order to dimension, you click on the circle you want to dimension and drag it outside. You let's click again to open up the dimension for you to input your values. I'm going to type in 50 and I'll now hit enter. I'll repeat the same step for the second circle. Then I'll take it outside. I'll let's click again and type in 60 and I hit enter. Okay, you can zoom in to make your sketch more broad or bigger. Right, so the next step, we've gotten our 2 concentric circle, 50 millimeter diameter and 60 millimeter diameter. So the next thing is to extrude it, and we are going to extrude it by 20 millimeter. Okay. All right, and in order to extrude, I need to exit from this sketch environment. So how do you do that? You will have 2 options: either to click on finish sketch here on the toolbar, or you come down to the sketch palette. There's another finish sketch button here. So either of them would work. Now we are back in the design environment. So the next step is to use the extrude command to convert this into something like this. All right. So I'm going to select activate our extrude command by going to the create drop down menu and scroll down to extrude. This is the extrude command. You can also use the keyboard letter E to activate it. Anyone you see any letter beside them, any command you see any letter beside, that's the short or the short way or short form to activate that particular command. So for whole command, you can use letter H to activate it. Same with every other one. Okay. So I'm going to activate the extrude command by left clicking also. Now, when you activate any command in your design workspace, a dialog box for that command will be active. Okay, so this, I've forgotten the person's name. This, the place is getting, I think it's Ishmael. Okay, I think Ishmael. So this is the place that's been you've been finding difficult. So better pay attention. So our extrude dialog box is now active. So the first step is to select the part you want to extrude. The distance between these 2 circles is the one we would want to extrude. Okay, we want to get something like this. The inside is hollow. All right. So I will select this inside. I will select the space between these 2 circles. All right. If it's sometimes Fusion will select it for you by default, but if it's not selected, you can unselect. Or if it's already selected, or this is not what you want, you can cancel it in your extrude dialog box. So you can cancel it and then select the one you want. Okay. So, but in this case, we want to select this one. So under the profile section, it's telling us to select the profile you want to extrude. So I'm going to select this one. This is the profile I want to extrude. Then for the start comma, you have the option to offset or to offset from a profile plane or object, but this is much more advanced. We'll talk about that in our advanced class. Okay, so this is the part I want to explain. The distance you want to extrude. How far do you want to extrude it? Extrude means to convert it to solid. That's what extrude means. Okay, so don't worry about the big grammar. I might be hearing extrude. You're thinking is one advanced something. No, extrude means to convert a sketch into solid. All right, extrude is not only it is not the only way to convert sketch into solid. It's just one of the ways. All right, so it's the most common way we use. So we want to extrude it by 20. You can see the thickness of this thing is 20 millimeters. So we are going to extrude by 20 millimeters. So you can come in here and type in 20. It's going to extrude. The reason we can't see it is because we are currently at the front elevation. So in order to view it from the other side, you can use the of orbit to move it around. Okay, change the orientation, or you can use the view cube or the key the short, or you use the your keyboard shortcut, you holding down your shift command and your scroll button to move it about the axis. Okay, that's two ways you can do that. You can also increase the distance of this by dragging this arrow. You can also increase it by dragging this arrow. So, but we want it to be 20. So you can move it in any direction. So we want it to be 20 millimeters. So we are working with 20. Then the under the operation, this is very important. Under the operation, this is a new body. You are creating a new body. So by default, it's a new body. But if there was an existing body already, you will have the option to either join with that existing body or cut out from that existing body. You also have intersect and the rest, but we'll leave that for another day. Okay, so but currently this is a new body, so we are going to say by default it's set a new body, so we are going to say okay. So we have our body now. Okay, the next step is to create this cut operation here, this hollow cavity here, this okay, this space between these two bodies. So we are going to create this also. So how do we do that? So go back to your Fusion 360 and we are going to create a sketch on the side of this so that we can easily create this cut operation, this profile here, and we'll now cut that. So that's what we are going to do. So there are two ways you can do that. You remember I told you whenever you are creating an object in Fusion 360 or in any CAD design software, there is no one step to do something. Someone can start from one end and arrive at the same result. You can start from another end and arrive at the same result. So there are several ways to do the same thing. So one of those ways you can create
Hello, can anyone, Mr. Henry, we can't hear you. Can anyone hear me or hear him? Can you please type something on the chat box? Okay, you guys can hear me, but we can't hear the instructor. Um, instructor, we can't hear you. Okay, just give him a minute for, I think maybe it's network issue or something. Okay, while the instructor is coming back, while we are waiting for him, due to one or two challenge, if you have any question, just raise up your hand. I will unmute you and you can speak. So, but while um okay, while you wait for me to call you, few things. I believe you guys, the previous class, you took attendance and you also did your assignments and made a post on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the major account we are using and include your hashtag. The instructor said he checked those that did assignments, some persons messaging privately. Yes, we are tracking all this. We are tracking everything. So I will. Someone is Bunolua. Okay, asked to unmute. I think I've granted you request. Okay,
And
you
my
can.
question is actually for the good evening. My question is actually for the instructor.
Okay,
I would love if you can like redo what he did
okay,
again for today. What started today? Thanks, sir.
okay, no problem. Does anyone have any other question? So, while I'm waiting for, how many of you here participated in the previous class? If you participated, I would like you to say, type on the comment section or in the chat box I participated so that I will know those that are new. Okay, the instructor didn't even know that he was out of the meeting. Um, he's joining. Okay, let me see how many persons participated in yesterday's class. Oh, you guys, you had a lot of persons. How many of you did the assignment that was given? I did. I have a question. How?
Okay, I apologize about that. I didn't even know that my screen went off. Like, you guys can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you. I just made you co-host so that you can share your screen.
All right. Okay, let me share my screen now. So I'm so sorry about that. I was going through before you unmuted. I was going through the chat, and somebody asked a question that I would like to answer. Okay, it's a very important question. He asked, "How does paste copy and paste work in Fusion 360?" Right. So, please, before I answer that question, I want to confirm the first example I was doing, or the first example I was explaining. Was I able to complete it before my screen went off? Because I wasn't even aware when my screen went off.
No, you were not. Like you wanted to do that cut. The cut.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
that was where network kicks you out.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, let me go back and delete. All right. So we have our sketch. Let me explain this before I answer that question. Okay, so this is the sketch we created. Okay, so I want to create a cut operation. So I will activate my extrude command. Okay, our extrude dialog box is now active. Okay, somebody messaged me. I've forgotten. I think I didn't get the name. All right, but this is the question he asked. So he didn't know how to create that cut operation. Despite I saw his sketch, he did the sketch correctly, but he didn't know how to go about this using this extrude command to create that cut operation. So you select the sketch profile you want to use to extrude. So that's the first thing. Our sketch profile. I don't want this entire, but I only want this place. All right. I only want this. This is the part I want. Okay. This is sketch profile you need. All right. So if you extrude in this other direction, there is nothing here blocking it from moving about. So that's why it's creating a new body for you. So if you look at the operation, scroll down to move down to the operation section, you can see it's set a new body. It's creating a new body for you. Okay, but if you go against an existing body, if you are trying to extrude against an existing body, you have the option to either cut or join. You can see when I move it against this existing body, it's cutting it. All right, so you can see we now have it. Fusion has identified that you are moving it against an existing body. Now the operation has changed to cut. So if you want it to join, like you don't want to cut it, you want it to join to that body, just click on that dialog box and scroll down to and select join. It will join it. You can see now they are both, Fusion will create new body and join it to that existing one. So you now have the same body. Okay. So, but we want to cut, so we don't want to join. We don't want to create a new body. So we want to cut out from that existing body. And you see, I will change it to cut. I'll scroll down, change it to cut, and then say okay. So I can turn off my sketch now. So this is the final result. This is exactly what we want. This is what I expect you to do in that assignment. Okay, let me move this away. All right. So this is exactly what we have here. This is exactly what we have here. All right. So let's see that question. Okay, someone said I should redo the projecting of the plane. Don't worry, I think we can circle back to that. And then the question is from Joy Onwunta. He said, how does copy and paste work in Fusion 360? I've been able to use move but not copy. Okay, it's the same tool that you use for the move that you also use to copy. Also, it's the same tool. So, for instance, you want to move, you want to copy this existing model into, you want to duplicate it, you want to copy another one. Okay, so what do? You go to your modify drop down menu. You scroll down to move/copy. That's why I told you it's the same tool that I use for both of them. You can use it for either of them or for both. So I will activate it using by left clicking under your modify drop down menu. Click on move/copy or use the keyboard letter M to activate it. Or let's click. Now our move tool is active. So you under the move object, you're asking which object does you want to move. You want to move components, bodies, faces, or sketch. You can move any of them, but we want to move body. So it's set to body. So under you have the next option is the selection. So I'll select this body. Okay, I'll select the body. The body is now selected. All right. If you move it now, once you go ahead and move this thing without creating a copy, you lose that option to create a copy for that one at that moment. Not that you cannot create a copy later, but you move the option. This copy command, look down at the bottom here, the last option there, you see create copy. Okay, this create copy here is the option for creating new copy. So if I should click on this now, a copy has been created. So when I now move, that you can see I'm not moving that new copy. You see? Okay, let me move it this side so that you see properly. You can see I'm not moving that new copy. You can move it in any direction you want now. See, it's that new copy that you now move. But if I should go ahead, let's say I cancel. I go ahead and select this body and I didn't create copy and I go ahead and move without clicking on that create copy, it will be deactivated. You can see at the bottom here, that create copy command will be deactivated. It will assume you don't want to create copy, you only want to move the existing one. Okay, but if I cancel this and select, then go back to that create copy, click on create copy, I can move the new copy in any direction I want and then say, okay, now I have two bodies. So if I should open the body tab on the browser tree, you'll see that I have two body one and body two. You can always rename them. You have the option to rename by right clicking and click on rename or just double click on it. You can rename them. Okay, so that's how you do the move and copy. That's how I use that move and copy command. Hope there's no okay. For now, there's no question. Just to confirm, you guys are can still hear me, right?
Yes.
All right. And let's proceed with the next example. So I'm going to click this plus icon to open up another tab, just like in your phone. The same way you use your phone, you are browsing in your Google Chrome or anything. You know how you create new tab by clicking on the plus icon. The same thing we have here. All right. So the next example is this one. So I said we are going to start this example first of all from the left hand side. Okay, we are going to start this example from the left hand side. If you take a good look at this model, we have two circles here. The first circle is this smaller one with a diameter of 15 millimeter or 15 millimeter. Yes, the second one has a radius. We are giving radius value, we are not giving diameter. So you can use radius value to draw to design. You can also use diameter value, the same thing. Radius value, if you want to convert it to diameter, is times 2. So diameter is radius times 2. So why this is a radius of 15, the diameter of that circle, of this outer circle, is 30 millimeters. So when you have to be careful whenever you are reading drawings. So these two circles are not the same. When you say 15, 15 and see, this one is smaller than this, how come? It's because of one is radius value, the other one is diameter value. So you have to be careful about it. And this other one, and this other one is a complete is a circle. Is not actually a complete circle, but it's a circle. It was trimmed out later on. So this circle goes like, I think, yeah, in this direction. So this is the bigger circle, while this is the smaller circle. So we are going to create two concentric circle. So I will try as fast. I think I'll try to be fast as possible because our time is fast spent. The class should be ending by 9:45. Okay. So we are going to create two concentric circle. The smaller one, 15 millimeter diameter, the larger one, 15 millimeter radius, that is 30 millimeter diameter. So we'll start with that. All right. So the first thing is to create a sketch. Of course, you all already know how to create sketches. So you go to create drop down menu, you activate the sketch command. So I'll click on this. I'll click on one of the plane to activate the sketch. So the next thing is to create two concentric circles. So you go to your create drop down menu and scroll down to circle command or activate it here, center diameter circle. We're going to create two concentric circles. The first one will be 15 millimeter. 15 millimeter, you can zoom in. Okay, the size you are looking at is not the actual size, so you can only zoom in and out. Okay, you might apply a dimension and you end up seeing something very small and you are wondering why is it this small. Just know that you can only zoom in to view it properly. Okay, 15 millimeter diameter. Okay, and the next one is 30 millimeter diameter. So I'll click again and drag and put in the value 30. I'll press enter. So we have two concentric circles. So the next step is to draw a straight line. Okay, four straight line actually. The first one, is from this point to this point. This next second one is from this point. Sorry, from this point, cutting across this line to this point. The third one is from this point to this point. While the fourth one is from this point, all right, to this point. So we're going to create these 4 lines. Then after that, we are also going to create another line from here, a vertical line that is 18 millimeter, okay, from the center of this circle, 18 millimeter from the distance of the center of the circle. So these are the 5 lines we are going to create. So we are going to activate our line 2 and then create these lines. All right. So I need so I will go to my line command. I'll draw a straight line cutting across the center of these 2 concentric circles. Okay, you can also make that a construction line. All right, in your sketch palette here, if you can, you have the under the first option there is the line type. You have the option to make something a construction line or a center line. So I want to make this a construction line, so I'll select it and then click on construction. You can see it's now a construction line. So whenever these lines are now, you know what construction line means for engineering students. They are not, when you are doing your engineering drawing, construction lines are used to reference design. They are not imported into the final model of that design. Okay, so I'm going to create those 4 lines first. I will go back to the line command, activate it, and draw 4 horizontal lines. Okay, don't worry about whenever you're done with any line, in order to end the current line, you click on this check button here. Okay, and your line 2 will still be active. Okay, so I'll create another one. Here. So even if the line is not straight, you don't have to worry about that. You can use your constraint like in our last class to explain them better. Okay, I'll click check. All right, so the next thing you can see, some of our line are straight and fully constrained. You can see this line, this second line here is black and fully constrained, meaning that I cannot move it around. Okay, you can move it in this direction, though we've not added the distance, the length for it. That's why you can see I can move it in this direction, but I can't move it up or down. While these other ones, I can move it in any direction that I want. All right, so we are going to make sure these lines are perfectly straight, just like this one. Okay, so there are so many ways we can do that. The first way is to add a horizontal constraint for these ones that are bent. So I'm going to click on horizontal or vertical command in your constraint tab, and then click on that line. Okay, these 2 have now been horizontally and vertically constrained. Sorry, these 2 are now horizontal constrained. If it was a straight line or a vertical line, that means it's vertically constrained. Okay, I'll repeat this for this. Okay, it's telling us that sketch geometry is over constrained. All right, so we are going to look for another method to constrain that. So I don't like this constraint because it isn't really should I say tangent to these circles. I want them to be tangent. I want this line to be tangent to this circle. So I'm going to delete this constraint. Know that you have the option to delete constraint. You can delete any constraint or dimension that you want. So in order to delete that, you hover around that constraint. Delete. Now that constraint must be deleted. So I'm going to add a tangent constraint to that line. So I'll go to my constraint tab, scroll down to tangent, add a tangent constraint to this line. Okay, now it has been added. Okay, let's try and add a horizontal constraint. If it's not overly constrained, let's try. Okay, now that has been fully constrained. So the next thing is to add a vertical line here. So I will activate the line command and draw a vertical line. Say okay. So we add the dimension, remember 18 millimeter from the center of this line, from the center of this one, of this concentric circle. So you activate the sketch dimension and select this line, select this one, and say 18. I enter. Beautiful. Now we have this. We are going to draw another line here. Here, we're going to draw another line here. Also 60 millimeter 60 millimeter from the center of this circle. So we are going to draw another line from here. All right, this line will be 60 millimeter. This line from here to the center of this circle will be 60 millimeter. And we are going to make sure those lines join with this one. So let's make that easier by extending these ones. Just click on the point and drag. Okay, beautiful. Now we activate the line command. Let's click on the line command, place it here, and then draw a straight line. Okay, see, click on the check button. Then the next step is to dimension it 60 millimeter from the center of this circle. So I will click activate the sketch dimension, select this. Okay, click on this line, bring it down to dimension. I'll say 60 millimeter, and then press enter. Now they are fully constrained. So they are fully dimensioned rather. So I'm going to trim out that part we don't need. There are some part, all this extra line that we don't need, we are going to trim it out. All right, but before we do that, I want us to draw these two lines. All right, there's one example we have, there's one dimension we have not added. The distance between these two center line here is 7 millimeter. So we are going to draw, and you notice they are both at equal distance from the, so okay. Now we are done with this sketch profile. We've gotten this sketch profile, so we'll go ahead and extrude. So click on finish sketch. So we'll be using this sketch palette, but this time around we're going to use this one. Click on finish sketch. Change it to isometric view by clicking on this home icon here on the view cube. Okay, now it's isometric view. So the first extrusion we are going to do is this one at the left hand side, which is 30 millimeter. The height is 30 millimeter. So that's the first one we'll do. Or you can also do this one at the right hand side, 9 millimeter. Okay, any of them will work. All right, but for the center line, I'm going to extrude this one. There's this center line along with the back one, 30 millimeter. Then we'll do a cut operation. Okay, so we go to your create drop down menu and activate extrude command. So I'll select the profile you want to extrude. I'll select this profile and this center line here, the center profile here. I'll drag it up. I'll put in your value in your dialog box, 30. Then press new body. It says that new body. I want a new body, and I'll click on OK. So we have this our new body. And if you notice, the moment I clicked OK, the sketch that we'll be using to extrude disappeared. So you don't panic. So just go to your browser tab under the sketch section. Click on this arrow to click open the sketch drop down menu. And you can see that the sketch was turned off by default whenever you extrude. Click on it again to turn it back on. So I'm going to extrude this other side 9 millimeter, just like our drawing indicated. So activate extrude again. Click on this point, then move around and click on this point. So extrude it 9 millimeter. So this time around, operation is changed to join. You can see by default it has changed to join instead of new body. Or if you want this to be a new body, you can also make it a new body. If you want it to be a cut operation, you can do that. But in this case, we want to join. Now say okay. Now we have this. All right. We have this profile. So we are not yet done. We've gotten this one and this one. So we need this other one. We need to create this steep profile, this steep model here, this steep surface. I'm going to create a sketch on the surface. I think this is the first time. I'll turn off the previous sketch and create a sketch on this surface. This is the first time we are creating a sketch on the surface, right? So I'm going to go to your create drop down menu, go to create sketch. I'm going to select it. Rather than selecting plane, I'll select the surface. That's beautiful. Now activate the line command. Let's click on this line command, come to this point, select, and move around this point until it snaps at a point there. Yes, beautiful. Then I can say finish. Okay, All right, let's try and extrude cut this operation to leave us with this other one, thereby giving us a steep surface. So I'm going to select extrude and select the surface. You can see it selected the surface even by using that line to divide it. In some cases, you might try, it might not work. So you have to, let's go back to the sketch. In some cases, if this by dividing this surface into two place into two, if by dividing this face or this surface into two separate surface with this line, and you are trying to select any of the surface to extrude, in your own case it might not work depending on the model you are designing, not this exact model. In your case, in the future when you are designing and you end up with this error, what you have to do is to complete the profile. Okay, you just do a complete profile. Understand? Do a complete profile. Sorry, escape. Make sure do a close profile that you'll be able to select it easily. Okay, so if I should create extrude now this is a close profile, so even if I turn off the body, I can still select this profile. You understand? Okay, so in case you run into that error in the future, just know that if you can't select it without a close profile, or without you just dividing it with the line or with the surface with the face, you can't select it for extrusion or revolving. You just have to do is just do that line, convert it into a close profile so that you'll be able to select that close profile and then move in the opposite direction and change the operation to cut. Okay, then you say okay. Now we have our final result, which is exactly what we have here. Okay, our time is fast spent. Our class should end by I think nine. We started 9:46. We started 8:46, so the class should end by 9:46. So I don't know if you have any question for your assignment. I don't. Okay, sorry. Before we proceed, I'm going to drop the before we end the class. I'm going to drop the attendance in the group chat and the course code. Mr. Christopher, please drop the attendance in the group chat. The course code for the attendance is Fusion Day 3. Fusion Day 3. Fusion Day 3. This is the course code for the attendance. Okay, so let me quickly drop the attendance. If you have any question, you can unmute your mic and ask, or you drop it in the chat box.
You said Fusion Day 3. Today is Day 2.
Sorry, Day 2. That's a mistake. I'm trying to.
Yeah. I've dropped the attendance
Okay, you
already.
dropped it. All right. Thank you very much. If you have any question, please ask. Why they are feel people are. How am I not seeing it? Okay. Yes, Fusion Day 2. Sorry about that. Projection of the plane. I don't understand this question. Ebunoluwa. Okay, yes, that's true. Please drop your I think the admin muted all the mics. If you have any question, drop it on the chat box. I will attend to you. Okay, so for this person, someone asked the question, what about projection? I think they've asked this question earlier about projection of plane or projection of a body. Rather, you don't project plane, you project bodies. The designs you are drawing, that's what you project. You don't project plane. Plane is a surface where you create your sketch. What about? I will explain that on us. I'm sorry for I don't know if I'm mispronouncing it. Ebunoluwa. Okay, I will explain that. Someone said the link is not working. Please, Mr. Christopher, please, you guys should try the link.
The link is working. So
You've tried it.
if your question is very long or something you can't explain, then just raise up your hand. I will unmute you so that you can
Okay.
speak. But the link is working. Everything here is working.
Okay, please, if your link, if you're having issue with the link, I think it's due to the network you are using. I think Glow normally does that. If you are using Glow, you might have an issue with the link. Please, you just try and change the network. Then for the person asking about projection, let me quickly explain that. Ebunoluwa, someone Ibrahim said, "How do we choose scale on the axis? Is it always by default?" Yes, the scale is always by default. You don't need to worry about scale. What you need to this um, this is a CAD software. As far, so far you are using the dimension. You are using the dimension of the actual model you are designing. You don't need to worry about scale. You can only zoom in and out. Okay, then you can only zoom in and out. If you are exporting your design out to another platform, it will maintain that dimension that you did. Even if, let's for instance, this design now is as small as 5 millimeter. No, 5 millimeter is too small. Let's say 50 millimeter. 50 millimeter. Yeah, that's 5 cm. This design is as short as 5 cm, and right here on your screen is looking very big like this because I zoomed in. Or you might be thinking it's bigger. No, it's still that 5 cm. It's just that you are scaling it up and down, okay, with your mouse or this zoom in and out command. All right, it does not affect the size of your model. I believe that answers your question. Then for the projection now, Ebunoloa, this is how you do projection. You can project this body now by, I want to create a sketch on this surface, for instance. I will go to your create drop down menu and click on create sketch. Then I'll select the surface I want to create a sketch on. Then I want to project this body or this side anywhere, anything. You can project anything. I want to project this entire body or this side of this body because I want to create a sketch on this body, on this side of this model. So I can use project using, go to your create drop down menu and select the project, or you activate it using keyboard letter P. Okay, now our project dialog box is active. You can select this, okay, and project it as a sketch, or you can project it as body to project the entire body. Body will project an entire body, but special entities will project that particular part you selected. So I can select this one now and project it and say okay. So if I want to draw anything now, it will be a reference. I can use it now to now draw some to create a sketch. Okay, so that's why this is how you use your project. So I don't know if that explains your question. Okay, I think without any further question, I think it's time we end the class. Okay, someone asked, how do you change? Is it possible to change the unit? Sophia, yes, you can change the unit.
Okay, before we come to the conclusion of today's class, I would like to get your feedback on the comment section or the chat box.
Um,
Um,
engineer.
what? Okay.
Okay, before you proceed, there are some questions I would like to answer. Please, Ibrahim, please, I don't understand your question. You say you don't know how to navigate our drawing. We are not currently on drawing. We are on the design workspace. We've not moved over to drawing. Okay, so please, if you can explain better, if you can make your question more clear, I don't really understand it. Why for Sophia, you can change your unit of the design. Currently, we are set at millimeter. We are working with millimeter, but if you want to change it to inches or centimeter, you go to your browser tab here. Then scroll, you click on the arrow to the drop down menu, you see your units. Then you see the change active unit here, the change active unit icon. Let's click on it. You have your unit dialog box. Then you have your unit system. You can change between millimeter, centimeter, meter, inches, foot, or you can customize your units. Currently, by default, is at millimeter, but you can change it to inches also and say okay. can see, or you set it as default. So that answer, I believe that answers your question. Then for okay, Badmore said, I'm still not very clear about how to navigate our drawing. Which side are you not clear about? Which side? Please, engineer Christopher, please, if you can unmute Ibrahim Badmos, let him explain, let him ask his question to be better. I don't really understand what he meant, but he doesn't understand how to navigate. Is it that you don't understand the interface?
He should indicate. He should raise his hand up, then I can unmute him. I think I made you co-host, so
Okay.
from your end too, you can also unmute.
I don't know. I'm having difficulty with that. Please help me unmute him. I don't know how. Okay, yes,
Good
he's
evening.
back. Ask your question.
Thank you, sir. What I'm actually saying is when we are designing, because if I want to see me like the top view, the side view like that, then
Mm,
then I want to turn around as desired. Because what I do now is just it's not I'm not perfect about it. So
okay.
I don't have to do it with with perfection, just the
All
way I
right.
want
All
it
right.
to. All right.
Okay, your own issue is the how to navigate, the change the orientation of your design. Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
All right. There are like three ways you can do that. The first way is the first option is using this view cube here. Hope you can see the view. You can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there's a view cube here at the top right corner. There's a home icon at the top of it. If you click on that home icon, it will change it to isometric view. You know what isometric view means, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you look at that view cube, you can see you have the top, front, right, and you have the bottom. You also have left and back. So any face you click on, the orientation of your design will change to reflect that face. So currently it's at top. So you also have arrows that can help you change those directions and orientation. Okay, I want to click back. I can click this arrow to select the bottom. Okay, you can also change it in any way you want. That's how you use your view cube. If you want to change it back to isometric, you use this home icon here. This home icon here, change to isometric. That's one of the ways you can do that. Too. There are other ways too.
Oh,
The second way is the navigation here. The navigation bar at the bottom, at the below this my design. At the bottom here, you can see the navigation bar, right?
yes, sir.
Okay, the first one is the orbit, orbit 2. Okay, if you should click on the orbit to activate, orbit is to orbit your this or your change the orientation of your design. You can move it in 360. Okay, you can move it in any direction. Just left click and hold and move it in any
Okay.
direction. Just left click and hold and move it in any direction you want. All right. There's a shortcut for this, but after I will explain the shortcut later. Then the third one there, you don't worry about the second one. The third one is the pan. Pan is to move it in X and Y direction. Okay, you can see X and Y direction. That is the pan. That is this hand icon here. Then the other one is zoom. Zooming. When you activate the zooming, you can then hold down the left mouse button and drag up and down to either zoom in or zoom out. The same thing with pan. You just once you anyone you activate, you hold down your left mouse button to to use them. The same thing with orbit again. Hold down your left mouse button and move in any direction. That's the second way you can do that. They also have the shortcut. Okay, when you are designing and you are trying to be fast, like a professional, there is a shortcut for that. All you have to do is for you to pan, that is move it in any the X and Y direction. Or let's start with zoom. For you to zoom in, you can use your scroll. If your mouse has the scroll button, you can use the scroll button to either scroll, zoom in, or zoom out. That is one of that's for the shortcut for the scroll button if you want to zoom in and zoom out. Then if you want to pan, that is move it in the X and Y direction. That is panning, not 360. 360 only is the orbit. So if you want to pan, move it in the X and Y direction. You hold down your control button on your on your keyboard, rather your keyboard. Yes. Then you now hold down that your scroll button on your mouse and be dragging it in any direction you want. So you have to hold down two buttons, the control button plus your scroll button. Okay, the orbit now is you have to orbit is the same button again, but in this time around you hold down your shift button and your scroll button on your mouse also, and move them in 360 direction. That's one of that's the third way you can change the orientation of your model. So I believe that explains your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Miss Engineer Christopher, I can continue. Yes, favor. We will send the assignment to the WhatsApp platform. Yeah. The recorded session will be Abdul. The recorded session will be made available. Then Joy said, when I was doing the second assignment, I created the design in two parts, like the part with the circle and the bottom. Okay, I extruded them and joined them by moving. I put them together and it looks like the drawing, but they are still two different components. So I was trying to assemble them, but I didn't understand the types of assembly. Okay, so you don't need to assemble, Joy. You don't need to assemble. I understand your question. You don't need to assemble. This is exactly what I explained in this card. I don't know if you were paying attention when I was doing this other one, this bottom part. Okay, when I was doing this one, you notice what I did here. When I extruded this one by 9 millimeter, like if I change this to new body, yours was set at new body. So if I say okay, they are different body, all right. So but this is not what I want. I want it to be a join operation. So I want it to join with the previous body. So when you are extruding the second one, Joy, what you do is that under operation, since they are together, they are in the same position. What you do is that under this operation, change it to join. Once you change it to join, they'll become one body. That's it. That's how to solve that problem. As far as they are in the same position, they will join together. The only difference is that if these the bodies are different, they are not they are in different position, they are not in the same place. That's why you have problem with that. Okay, that's when you now start thinking about assembly. I've not really explained assembly. Okay, assembly is a little bit advanced, so that's why I normally give you examples that you can work with without those assembly. So in your operation, Miss Joy, in that your operation, just change the this thing. Well, in that your extrude operation for the second one, after you've created the first one, the second one, change the operation at the bottom of your extrude dialog box, change the operation to join, and then click OK. That should solve that particular problem. Who are these people that are saying they've sent the attendance a while
Thank
ago
you.
now?
Those persons are just joining now. I stopped people from joining.
Okay.
So, I would like to know, get feedback from today's class. What did you learn? What aspect of today's lecture caught your attention? I would like to get your feedback from today's class. Was it engaging? Um, you know, the, the overview of today's class. So I would like those of you that participated, please drop your comments, drop your feedback in the chat box. So I'm expecting a lot of feedback from today's class. What did you learn new or something? Okay, nobody is dropping anything on the attendance.
Um,
I'm sorry, on the group chat. Okay, please just drop the attendance one more time
all right.
if you feel